This is Boss Moves with Business Acumen, an investment group which consists of 5 brothers who came from the same place. Some brothers who just we wanted to do something different. We felt like we had business acumen and we wanted to make some boss moves. So with that, with 3 out of our group of 5, there's myself, my name is Charles. We got Moses.
What's up?
And we got Trey.
What's going on?
And, with our collective, we're Boss Moves with Business Acumen. Mo is going to give you a little bit more about what our mission is.
But I just want to, how we linked up. All 5 of us end up kind of growing up together a little bit, touching base here and there, going through school. And we just decided to link up. We said we needed to actually do something that's going to be something. You know what I'm saying? So what we thought about our mission being as an investment group, we want to seek investments in social responsible businesses that benefit underserved communities, undervalued real estate, and proven well-performing equity assets. A new technology, including cryptocurrency. My man Charles knows all about the crypto, as well as products and services that are poised to revolutionize the industry. So we all got a little bit of knowledge in this business space to kind of, pass on to our community, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, we ain't here trying to build a legacy.
That's right.
We weren't content to sit back and just let life happen to us, or just go to work, or just work our business or whatnot. We want to do something more, and I always felt like, and I think y'all feel the same way, that when you put brothers' heads together, though it can be difficult, but when you get these minds together, man, we can really build something special.
That's definitely true. And that's what we're trying to do with this investment group. We're trying to build not only for ourselves, but for our last names. You know what I'm saying? For our family, for our community, and for all those that are around. So we're just trying to pass on information, pass on knowledge. And Trey, what you got, brother?
Okay, but yeah, I do just really kind of briefly want to go over what we kind of got into thus far. We basically kind of wanted to tackle different industries and different investments. Take a pretty aggressive approach. We're pretty young guys, so we want to take a pretty aggressive approach into our investment strategy. So we kind of conquered real estate, logistics, and the stock market. So in terms of real estate, we wanted to start off with something small, just something we kind of test out. We got into our Tulsa real estate team, became founding partners of that. Pretty exciting, got our name on the wall. So definitely an exciting move with that. Something, real estate's very long-term hold. So, we're definitely willing to wait for those returns and those dividends to start coming in. But I think that was a wise move on our part. We got our TD Ameritrade account setting up. We're going to really kind of cover different stocks, especially with aerospace, like booming and defense industries. And along with the pandemic and everything, it's good to get into different companies that are like in the health field. So, those things are kind of rising right now. So we wanted to definitely tackle stocks as well. And then finally, logistics. We want to get into trucking. We think that's an essential, crucial part of any economy, trucking and trade of goods. So we want to be kind of really on the front lines of that. We got to get in with an actual gentleman in Ghana with our first truck. So we're looking to even really kind of build things here in America, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of a larger endeavor, but the payout in trucking is always good. So we definitely think we kind of covered some good bases right there, and we'll tackle this investment strategy and see where it goes. Back to you, Charles.
So, as you guys can tell, we're trying to kick this thing off big time. We had some really, we really went for it with our first few investments. As Trey talked about, the real estate fund, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, which was started by a gentleman named Jay Morrison. If you get the chance, please look him up. He's doing something that's pretty monumental and is connected to the Tulsa, Oklahoma of our history that it gives it a lot of energy. So, check that out if you can. You can find them on all the little social media platforms. With the TD Ameritrade, we're really just kicking that off. And, we are going to make some pandemic choices in a few days here so we can make the most of what's going on right now. Because in business and in investment, you can't stop because there's a pandemic, because there's a worldwide virus. This is the time when you really can find, things that could change your life, things that could change, your whole investment strategy. So we got to keep moving in times like this. And say a little bit more about our Ghanaian investment. We kind of swung for the fences on that one. And it's something that's difficult to do. And to be honest, having an investment that's overseas like that, unless you're able to go and check on it and perfect communication and see every step of the way, it's probably not advisable to like jump into something like that. What would y'all say about that in hindsight?
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty difficult, like you said, for your first investment to be not in the same country as you, not in the same continent. You know what I'm saying? Communication can be rough because time is different in Ghana, where our investment is, and than it is here in the States. So, I mean, you got to coordinate time. You got to coordinate from top to bottom, whether it's our investment company down to the truck driver driving the truck, where he's gonna be. Which what I thought was cool was
the app.
There was an app created to where we kind of monitor, which was really cool. We threw all our ideas out there to our partner. He took them in, listened to what we had to say, and just kind of went with what we advised him on. So I think that was a big bold move.
It was a bold move.
Big bold move for our first.
Very ambitious, right? We went for it.
Very ambitious.
Yeah, somewhat aggressive.
Somewhat,
but,
Oh yeah, somewhat.
But I think it was it definitely let us know how it can be trying to manage a business in a completely different continent. Even like local laws, just things that you might not even really think about in a completely different country, different continent, laws changing, ports nationalizing, just things you really might not think about, that can really kind of can really kill your business. So if you really can't be hands-on or can't, just manage it properly, definitely would not advise, going that route. At least not at first, especially when you're not even in the industry that you are, kind of getting into. Because none of us are truck drivers,
right?
None of us, right? None of us. We have maybe a little bit of experience in logistics and supply chain, but nothing to warrant us starting, a trucking company in Ghana. So, but
yeah, not to mention customs. The customs,
Wow.
Everything is different with how people operate businesses there, and how just the day to day is a lot more laid back from what I understand. Here we're all about the numbers, the proof, the paperwork. They do a lot of handshaking and like this is what we're gonna do, and that's cool. But for people like us who like our name suggests, we got business acumen. So we we're gonna need the contracts, we're gonna need this, we're gonna need that. And it was kind of tough to get some of those things sometimes. So making an investment like that, you gotta look at it 360 degrees. What are the customs like of the people where you are? How do they conduct business? The time frame, the people, just everything. So that was a great learning experience, and I think we'll look back on it one day and be proud that we made such a bold move.
Oh man, what I found was funny was Here in the States, we got CP time. Over there on the continent, there's African people time. So,
Right.
it's that's the origination of CP time. So,
That's where it started.
Far. Man. But, no, it was definitely a learning experience. We know how to operate a little bit better now that we've experienced this.
Right.
We know where to go. We know what our future will look like, and we are better because of it. So I love the fact that we learned so much.
We know exactly what we'll ask for, what we will demand, what we will not do without. Trey, you were about to say something?
No, and I was just going to say, I know one of my colleagues just in real estate, commercial real estate, whenever something doesn't go as planned, but you did get a great learning experience out of it, he always calls it tuition. So he was like, we got paid. Our pay was in tuition. Our pay was in knowledge. Our pay was in learning, which is always good. It might sting a little bit, in the beginning. But really now we know we have a better grasp of what we need to do to be, on top of our game. So definitely, it was a great experience.
I like that.
That's right, Trey. That's right. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, because you just kind of told us about your colleague. I mean, this is one of the big reasons why you're in the group, why you thought this group was a good reason. You said your colleague, so you're in real estate, right?
Yeah, real estate, actually commercial real estate. So I mainly deal with kind of B2B business, business sales, and really mainly helping businesses find locations for their company, and also really investors, helping them find locations as well to rent out and possibly grow their portfolio. So definitely a good industry to be in.
You're in the hot market. You in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Crane City is what I call it. Crane City.
Always building.
Right, yeah. We always building that. So it's always something new. You got to stay on top of your game. I find it, funny just going out and there's always new buildings popping up. So you got to stay on top of your game. Got to know really what's out there, what kind of inventory is out there, so you can really provide your clients with the best service and get them the best location possible.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And Charles with his business acumen.
Hey, man.
we all got
that acumen. But
when it comes to
that's
business.
Right. That's why we formed this. That's why we together, man. That's why we found each other. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. It was almost natural.
That's right. And I think only a certain type of brother, only a certain type of person would even, take this type of undertaking. We all got friends who wouldn't dare do something like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think it takes some special people for us to jump into this and to keep. We're 2 years strong now, right, fellas?
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good 2 years strong.
That's an accomplishment in itself.
And we also
have done so much.
Right. We brought together brothers who really have different personalities, and we've really been able to make it work, which is a beautiful thing. I know the three of us really might be a little bit more on the aggressive side sometimes. Mm-hmm. And we just so gung-ho and ready to, jump into any business or whatever, 50,000, whatever it takes, let's get it done. But then, our other partners are a little more laid back, a little bit more reserved, which is good and creates a good balance. They'd be like, let's maybe not jump over. Let's, think about this a little bit before we actually get into it. So, it's good we've been able to manage everything for 2 years running and really expect 20 more, really.
Absolutely. I think you're right about that. We definitely needed Reggie and Akeem. We needed that balance for them to be they're the cats that are like, hold on, let's look at this. Y'all really want to do this? Do you think we should do that? Ask the questions. What about this? I don't know if that's a good move. We need that, because us three would jump on everything. And just you know what I'm saying?
It helps to have that balance. And I know we all have different backgrounds when it comes to business, different ideas when it comes to, even amongst us three, but I think what the biggest thing is that we're all learning something. We're all learning something new about business. We're learning the power of having your own business.
Right.
We're learning not only how to manage, how to run. We're also learning the financial benefits, the tax benefits of having a business.
Right.
And I've had a business myself for 10 years now. This is my 10th year in business in the DC area. So, like I mentioned, we just all kind of learning from each other. We all from the same background, but yet our paths have gone different, routes to where we're back together again, trying to get our BMBA business off to the right start. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. Now that being said, I got a question. Trey, when you were talking about Nashville, calling it Crane City because all the building is always going on. And I know every time I go back home, I'm in Atlanta now. But every time I go back home to Nashville, there's always something new. I barely recognize the city. But I wanted to ask you, how has the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, kind of affected that end of it? The commercial real estate side, is everything slowed down? Just some things? Like, tell us what you see.
Well, it's weird when you're dealing with the pandemic. Of course, things have slowed down. I mean, the whole world has slowed down to some extent. But at the same time, the beautiful thing about being in commercial real estate is it's almost a home-based business already.
Right.
So a lot of times, I in my own office, and I'm still able to do so. Actually, I had two showings, 2 different properties today. So, I mean, it's kind of picking back up. It slowed down a little bit, but it is picking back up because one thing about it is, when you're dealing with, that's why I love commercial real estate. When you're dealing with residential real estate, you're really dealing with people who might not necessarily have to move, who are just kind of looking for a new home, maybe need to just want a new environment or something like that, school district with their children. When you're dealing with businesses, that business has to move. Right. Usually it's not, when you're dealing with a family, they're looking for, a 3-bed, 2-bath. Yeah, you can find a 3-bed, 2-bath all over the city. But when you're looking for a business, that business is like, no, I need 3,000 square feet. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to be zoned for this. So the inventory is very limited. So people are still going to jump on it and still going to take care of their business. And a lot of times when you're getting into businesses, the build out will take 3 or 4 months. So when a business owner mind, he's like, I might as well go ahead and still make my move with what I need to do. It's going to take me 3 or 4 months to do my build out anyway. And by that time, pandemic and everything else really will be back to normal. So it has slowed down somewhat, but I still see business really taking off. It's funny because I'm dealing with this one client, and she was supposed to sign a lease in the middle of April and really kind of start her term the beginning of May. And she was like, no, okay, I'm gonna hold off. Got, hold off on investigations that we're gonna get done. Wait till, the safer at home gets banned and everything goes back to normal. And I hit her up the other day. I was like, now listen, I know you're kind of waiting, and I know you've really been on top of this. But we've had 2 other people come look at this property for the same business that you're in.
They ain't trying to wait.
If they sign this lease, and actually they're coming back with the contractor this weekend. So if they sign this lease, just because I've been dealing with you for the past, month and a half, don't think that this lease won't get signed. You know what I'm saying? While you sitting there with I have to be honest.
Why you waiting in the wings?
You got to.
Why you waiting in the wings? I mean, you might want to go ahead and jump on this sign this lease. So it's funny because the pandemic really does slow things down, but in business, this is what America runs on. You know what I'm saying? That's why people are protesting now. People are protesting, talking about, we want to get back to work and everything, because hell, you're gonna bankrupt every business. Then where we're gonna be is so
we're gonna die because of that.
You can't blame them.
Right.
Yeah. You can't blame them for protesting though. I mean, people trying to get back to work. They need to make money.
You really can't.
People are losing their houses. They got mortgages to pay. They got kids to feed.
Right.
So Uncle Sam's check for what? $1,200 if you're single, $2,400 if you're married. What is that going to do?
That help.
And the funny thing is, the cost of living is different everywhere.
So that same amount. I never thought about it that way.
It's not going to go far. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not going to go as far. It's not going to go as far.
Yeah. What about that $1,200 for somebody in Cali?
Right. Oh, God. It's going to be different for somebody in Arkansas.
Oh.
Texas.
In Arkansas.
Man,
Ball
man.
out here getting to
Hey,
it.
it's interesting that you,
That's it.
like, just in thinking about the whole economic impact of the pandemic, I was looking at an article from Guardian.com that really talks about how African Americans bear the brunt of the COVID-19 economic impact. And, there's 26 million unemployment claims, and that, most of those are Black people. And, what the article doesn't say, well, it kind of hints at it. But a big part of the reason is that a lot of us have the jobs where, we're not able to work from home for a lot of these hourly jobs.
Right.
You can't work from home. You just out of it. It's just done. And those workers are the most expendable, so to speak. And I just think that's something to be said, man. But even before, Black people had twice the unemployment rate.
I was about to say it's really almost no difference for us. I mean, we still feel it,
yeah.
but we've been going through this for a few hundred years.
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's not that big of a thing.
It's not that big of a difference.
But there is a difference.
It is because Black Americans, we are on the front
Absolutely.
lines. When they talk about frontline workers, we are at the grocery stores.
Right.
we're and they're open up in Georgia, I believe, the hair salons. You know what I'm saying? The barber shops. So that's
and that also can explain. That
So-
also can explain like the rate of infection too. The front line, the
Right.
people that ain't able to stop working.
Oh, yeah.
People that are at these grocery
Exactly.
stores, at these hourly jobs, man. So this,
right.
but the article also it makes the point that during they call it the Great Recession. That's our 2008 experience that we all had. They call it the Great Recession, not the Great Depression, Great Recession, where it was like 9.6% unemployment. For Black Americans, it was 16% around that time, like in 2010. So it's always been exploded and elevated for us. But I just thought those are some interesting numbers when we're looking at that overall economic impact of what we're going through right now.
Definitely. They say, what they say when the white community catches the cold, we catch COVID-19.
Wow.
That's what they say. So, unfortunately,
Yeah, really.
I mean, we bear the brunt, like you said, we bear the brunt of a lot of situations. So, especially when it comes to money,
Right.
we are the last to get it. You know what I'm saying? And we're the last to benefit from any kind of assistance.
And I think this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for a lot of us to kind of reassess.
I about to say, you read my mind on that one.
Absolutely, man. But go for it. Yeah. What were you thinking about that, Trey?
No, and I was honestly just gonna say the same thing. I was just gonna say, really, I love it because it's a time that kind of set everybody on the same level playing field for a moment. It almost like paused time. So anything that you need to catch up on or get a leg up on your competition, this is your time to really do that. So kind of everything's kind of slowed down, everything's kind of stopped, business kind of stopped. You can get yourself together, and it's actually a perfect time to even start a business.
Right.
So I mean, really
do some
hit the ground running.
Pick up a skill.
Time. A perfect time to pick up a skill.
Perfect time.
Yeah. So how do y'all think, like, life in general? I mean, do you think everything's gonna go back to normal, or are we in the new normal? Will everything just be different from here on out? I think we were talking about movie theaters earlier.
Definitely gonna change.
Yeah.
I mean, but in order to evolve, things have to change. In order for things to get better, we have to change things of the past. So I know Trey was talking about driving movie theaters. Go ahead, Trey. Weren't you talking about driving movie theaters?
Yeah, I was just talking about this would be a perfect time for somebody if they had, I mean, just some open land, and really could be able to situate some type of drive-in movie theater. This is a time where that can take off right now. And I think that it is a change, and I definitely see in the foreseeable future, I mean, the next 5, 10, 20 years, I can definitely see a huge change in terms of just the way things are done, even like cleaning, the way things have to be sanitized. I'm sure there are going to be different laws and standards for cleaning procedures. You understand what I'm saying? Cleaning companies are going to really start booming and be an important thing. Here going forward, especially online retailers. So I think that it's definitely a time where things are changing, but at the same time, I think that we as humans are very social people, because my main in commercial real estate, my main aspect is retail. So I'm really in the retail field. So it has hurt me a little bit because, of course, there are not as many people looking for retail spots and locations. But at the same time, we as humans, we're very social people. So we will eventually get back out there and damn near risk it all. Because you got to think about it. This isn't the first plague and pandemic that we've had in history. I mean, from even just recent stuff like, swine flu and Ebola or whatever else, H1N1. But I mean, you go back to, like I said, whenever the swine flu and all these the black plague and Spanish all these flu. Different things, the Spanish flu, all these things that have really decimated our society and our population at one point. I mean, hundreds of years later, we go right back to the same thing, being social people, being around each other, always wanting attention from other people, and not in a bad way, but you do want attention and love from other people. We're not meant to be alone. So yeah, it might be the new normal for right now. I mean, but how long literally is that going to last? Once once we have confidence that we can cure the pandemic, and whether it be a vaccine or eating patterns or whatever, or our bodies just get immune to it and start resisting it, whatever we do, whatever happens, 100 years from now, it's going to go back. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I'm bowing them motherfuckers from now. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know y'all saw what they were doing in Asia. They had a little thing they were doing. But I mean, like you said, Trey, we've been through a lot of different pandemics. West Nile was another
West Nile virus.
West Nile virus. The biggest difference was how it was handled. And a lot of those, like I think 3 of those, H1N1, maybe West Nile, swine flu under Obama, I believe. But being here in the States, I heard about it. That. To me, it was a distant thing. No, I didn't really touch us like that. But now we're in the Trump regime, and he's taking money from the CDC in order to kind of do more research and help protect the nation from the health facilities. I mean, he's taking a lot away from things that are meant and put in place to protect us. So now we feel everything,
right?
Economically, infectious disease control. We feel it all. We feel it all. Like I said, when black people, when the white folks catch a cold, we get the flu. So we get COVID.
Yeah, so I mean, some things like movie theaters probably won't be the same for a long time, if at all. Concerts, large sporting events. I think there's so much money in those sporting events, though. I think they'll try something with that. They're gonna try something with that. A lot of restaurants probably won't make it after this.
Yeah.
How about cruise lines? You think we're gonna be doing cruises anymore?
Ooh. I was never a cruise fan. I always heard good things about cruises, but they're disgusting. I don't think it's gonna be. Honestly. They are. It seems like it is, and I don't think it's gonna. That's not gonna be the same. It has to change. It has to change because they have the most viruses on that crazy. One
I think the cruises gonna come back. I don't know why I think this, but I think those cruises are gonna. I think as soon as they say clear, there are people that's all they do is cruise.
I think everything's
I think they're going. You think everything is? I mean, I think the airline industry will be fine.
Right.
And the difference there is the government's not going to allow the airline industry to fail. That's one thing.
Right.
That like we were talking about Boeing earlier. Boeing will never fail. Not with our current administration. Dude loves Boeing. Boeing is going to be just fine. That'd be a good investment.
Any Republican administration
Yeah,
military and defense is always going to thrive.
definitely. That's true. Definitely true.
I think they're talking about like giving the airline industry like 25 billion to bail them
Okay.
out, just like they did the
So let me
banks.
Let me ask y'all a question then. Okay. They're giving these airline industries money to bail out. We already know as soon as all these safer at home and lockdowns, once they're lifted, we already know travel's going to be off the chain,
Yep.
right?
I think so.
Everybody's going to go travel.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let me ask y'all a question. Why did Big Dub, which is Warren Buffett,
Mhm.
why did Warren Buffett pull out of Delta so hard?
You know what? I was talking about that with my wife today. So I think so. My earliest thoughts were because at first I thought he pulled his whole stake in Delta, but then I found out he only did about 30 million shares or something like that, and he did a bunch of shares of Southwest as well.
Okay.
Now, although he already had, I think it could be meaningless because although he already had, people will wonder why he has so much cash. Why does he have so much cash? I think he might have just pulled out of those on some short term because he knows they're not going to do anything right now to get more cash to buy more blood in the streets. Like, I honestly think that now. I think he pulled out of some of those. Because if he thought it was going to fail, he would have liquidated his whole position, don't you think?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't look at that until today. The whole time I was thinking like, oh man, he must not believe in them. He must think they're gonna fail. I'm gonna pull out all my stuff from Delta. But Delta and United and Southwest, he got investments in. I don't think they're going nowhere. I think they're gonna be just fine.
No, they're not gonna go anywhere. And I understand. I feel like I understand why he did sell some of Delta and not all of Delta, because you don't want to just sell all your stock in a company that is a good company.
Exactly.
Delta's a good company.
Right.
Let's be real. They've been around for a long time.
Out of all
they're
of those,
moneymaker. They're international flights. Yeah, they're if you look at their stock
They're the
price,
best
they're
of
the
all
highest
of them.
stock price of all of them. I understand why he went to Southwest, because we got to get better nationally first before internationally. So people are going to be flying a little bit sooner within the nation than they will be flying international, if you think about it. And Southwest is a company that flies within within the nation, within the states. So I mean, it was a smart move. He's ahead of the game. He's ahead of his time, and he's got time. He's got time on his side right now. I mean, he's been doing this, and
he's
for
a
long-term
long-term investor. So that's why I think like down the line, he probably will even recoup some of that and reinvest. But I don't think they're going to make any big moves until like down like a few years from now. Like as far as the stock price, they're going to be in recovery mode for the next 2 or 3, 4 years.
Right. I think the stock price for Southwest right now is on April 30th. Is Southwest is $31.25. Delta is only $25.91. So, and I think it was a change of 0.9% today alone in Southwest. So with states like Georgia opening back up, people are taking that chance of trying to work again. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody works locally.
So the thing about Delta as compared to Southwest, Southwest is a smaller company, and Delta is kind of a big top-heavy company. So, I mean, I can see why their stock will go down a little bit more, because they got way more moving parts. Whereas Southwest, you know, their home base, aren't their home base here in Atlanta, right?
No, Delta's is in Atlanta. Southwest is in Dallas.
Okay, Delta's Atlanta,
Okay,
Southwest is
right.
Dallas. One of the major hubs is here in Atlanta. They have major hubs in like all the major cities, but they've been growing a lot in the last 10, 15 years.
Man, yeah, Southwest is cracking now.
They got a simplified business model though. Like they do things different. So.
All you need is some peanuts. Some peanuts.
No assigned seats.
Right, no assigned seats at all.
That's it. And the bag fees, you get 2 bags under the plane.
Small as hell. Cause And they'll squeeze an extra 15 folks on the flight, so yeah, they can afford it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they can sit it out for a
It
minute.
needs a bumper. It needs a bumper to chair in
Right,
front of
knees
you.
is
for sure.
touching. It's funny because the past year I've been flying a lot of Delta, and then I get back on a Southwest flight. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, how
What
do
is
people
it?
fly like this? I get bougie as hell. Like, how do people?
Hey, but listen, there's nothing worse. Y'all probably know what I'm about to say. There's no airline worse
Spirit?
than Spirit. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the worst flying experience I ever had in my
This
life.
is the only thing. I've actually never been on Spirit, but I met two chicks in Mardi Gras. They were like, "Yeah, we got here on Spirit." What the hell is Spirit?
Hope you stayed away from them. There's some cheap chicks. Right
Right.
No, I can't say I did. I spent my.
they came to spend money on fun, not the trip. They came to spend
Let's
money
think
on
about
fun.
Spirit though. Spirit, your ticket for Spirit is $1.50. Then you sit there trying to check a bag, and the bag is
There you go.
$100. And you try to get
You
a cup of water, and the water's another $100.
Oh
Hey,
man!
somehow,
Don't even try to print out your ticket. Don't print out your ticket when you get there. You better print it before you
Right,
arrive.
that's another-
brother. That's another one.
somehow you got the whole philosophy of Spirit and you never flew on them. That's it. That's it. That's the whole philosophy. You got cheap
That's it,
tickets,
nickel and dime.
but you pay for everything. They nickel and dime me to death.
Nickel and dime.
The space, like, I ain't that tall a dude, but I cannot really sit in the Spirit flight.
That's hilarious.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, man.
You can't even slide your feet underneath the seat without kicking the person in front of you.
Yeah,
Seriously.
You can't even.
that's
do
probably
that.
another.
I can't even lie. I can't lie. Them one of the ones I'm kind of hoping don't come back.
Right, like,
They can go.
They can definitely go.
They can go, bro.
They can definitely go.
But real talk, I've
It's
seen some really funny stuff like this during this pandemic. Like, I seen some crazy stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I've seen some funny stuff at these grocery stores and just out, period.
oh, of course.
One of the things I always see is people that wear their mask and gloves the entire day, bruh. Like in the car, in the store, like wherever they are, they got the same gloves and mask. And I'm just like, yo, you know that's defeating the whole purpose of it, right?
Right.
And who are you protecting yourself from in the car by yourself? That's what I really want to know.
Man,
Like, it's not comfortable.
Man, you don't.
All you've done is just brought the germs from outside inside your car.
Into the car.
Inside your car.
Thanks. Like,
And
good job.
You touch on every item in the grocery store with your gloves. You put it in the bag that you take home. You unload it with the. Come on, bro. You touching your doorknob. Oh,
You ain't changing
man.
gloves.
Right.
Nothing.
You ain't changing gloves. You ain't wiping nothing down. Come
Like,
on.
you do know the doctors
You
and
know
nurses,
that.
when they wear these gloves, they change them out after every
change them
every
out.
client, right?
Right.
Like, that's just,
Man. Now the masks, since those N95s are hard to come by nowadays, I can kind of understand a little bit if you're not wearing it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If you're not wearing it all day long, but the gloves, and I've even seen people with shoe booties. With the shoe booties. I'm like, man, they go on the extra mile. They're going the extra
That's
mile.
hilarious.
I also find funny how people buying up all this toilet paper, man. Why are they buying up
Yeah,
all
what's
this
the secret
toilet
to the
paper? I don't
toilet
get it.
Bro, I've
I
tried
ain't
to
figured
figure it
that out
out.
yet.
That'd be a secret.
I've tried to figure it out. Like fuck lemons and limes and oranges. Help build the immune system. Hey, you go to the grocery store, it ain't nothing but oranges, lemons, limes, all the stuff you need. All the stuff you need is at the grocery store. Right, all the healthy stuff
Right.
at the
All the healthy
grocery
stuff
store.
is there.
Your ass can't find no toilet paper. You can't find no pork. All the bacon's gone. I mean,
Ridiculous, bro.
I don't know what.
And people that racked up on
Right.
candy,
Right, candy section gone.
wiped out.
Like what in the world?
Boy,
Hey, let me tell y'all what I saw in the grocery store the other day, bro. Y'all, this did it for me. I was done. I was finished. This guy walks in. He's got to be in his late 50s, early 60s. And first of all, on top of his head is some of those virtual reality glasses. Like it was just sitting on top of his head. When he came in the store and got around people, he pulled down the virtual reality glasses and walked through the store with them on. I was like, I don't understand. And I was looking for him throughout the store too, because I was like, what is? Like, I want to know what's going on. Is he seeing something in there? Is he like is it something he's doing? And like he had them on the whole time. Then I seen him check out right in front of me, and he had the glasses on, talking to the lady. So then he would pull them up when he tried to put his card in the little thing. So I'm like, obviously he can't really see in them. So I wanted to ask him so bad, like, please tell me, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on, bro? I took a picture of the dude. I took a picture of it. I got evidence for this shit.
Oh man, I think I saw something online the other day where somebody was in a whole
That's
diving
hilarious.
suit.
Oh wow.
They were in a whole diving suit.
Ain't
at the
taking no
grocery
chance.
store. Fins, everything.
Ain't taking no chance.
Goggles, no chances. Spandex down. Just
Man.
zero chances. It's
That's
some
crazy,
crazy
man.
stuff.
It's, you know,
Crazy
you gotta.
stuff. A lot of it don't make
No, a
sense.
lot of it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But you know,
Man.
it's good to find the
Unfortunately,
lightheartedness in all of this,
Right.
You know, because some of it is real serious. I had some friends that got it and they made it through, but it was real serious for them. So there was a point when I was like, "Is this shit real? Like, what's going on?" Like, and then I had a close friend that like was really put down with it. He didn't go to a hospital, which I think is what saved him. He didn't go to a hospital, so he came out the other side. But it was real serious for him for a minute, you know. And I think it's a good point to remind us all, you know, how that we need to like, you know, care more about each other,
Right.
and kind of take care of what's important, and you know, all the things we need to remind ourselves. It's been real peaceful for me personally. I think it's been very peaceful. Some people going crazy in the house or whatever, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to stay in the house like that. So, you know, it's different for different people, I guess. You know?
Yeah, it's a good time. That's why I'd say it's a good time. People, it's kind of slowed everything down a little bit. So, like, I agree, it is kind of peaceful.
Mm-hmm. That's a great thing.
I've actually experienced some real downside to this whole pandemic thing. Had actually a coworker. I work in the healthcare field, so actually I had a coworker who was a nurse who actually passed away from COVID, which was very devastating. Very, you know, it's like, hey, y'all tell us what she did so we could try to avoid
something different, yeah.
You know, having going through that, you know, and you know, you just feel for her family, her kids, her grandkids,
Man.
and like you said, Charles, man, this time has really brought a lot of people together, and in the Trump era where things were so divided.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It just really brings you back to earth. Think about family, spending time, doing the little things. You know, being able to have laughs with your loved ones. You know, you just don't realize how
Right.
that kind of thing
Very
is.
true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can't put a price on that. I mean, if people not working, I can understand the struggle, but you can't put a price on having your loved one alive and well, and you're able to spend this time.
See, that's why they say health is wealth, man. Having your loved ones, you and your loved ones healthy, that's much more important. You can't put a price on it, bro.
Guys, I think this is a good time for us to mention to our audience that, you know, they can go ahead and visit BMBAinvesting.com. We have a contact form there. It tells you a little bit more about our business, but we are seeking businesses that need investment. So if you need something, then hey, let us know. Maybe we can drop some funds, but we're looking for somebody that has a plan, or some people that have a plan and have a business, and that we could possibly help.
Right, we definitely offer more than just money. We offer
That's right.
Business strategy. You know what I'm saying? Marketing. You know, so helping really helping your business really get off the ground. We're more than just, you know, it's more than just $10,000. Anybody can give $10,000, but you know, we provide also expertise. You know, absolutely,
like a holistic approach to your business from top to bottom. We're here for you.
Hey man, on that note, I think we're gonna bring it into our very first podcast. Great job, fellas. Good chopping it up.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I love it. I
perhaps
love it.
indeed. And I think we're gonna come through with more topics. We're gonna have a lot of different things, interviews. We're gonna talk about some things happening in the news. We're gonna talk about some moves that some of our favorite celebrities have made, business-wise, investment-wise, and we're gonna chop it up and have fun like we did this time. But hey, man, until next time, this is Boss Moves with Business Acumen. We signing off.
All right, peace, y'all. Peace.
Peace.